Assalamu alaikum, guys. This is Ali Baqir Khan with another episode of Youth Alumni Association. Today we have Sheza Mustasim with us, and she joined us for this good cause regarding career counseling and how to build entrepreneurs. First of all, thank you so much for joining in the session. Sheza, how are you doing today?
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you so much for having me. I'm great. How are you?
I'm pretty good as well. Thank you so much for asking. Well, Sheza started her career from bachelor's in mass communication. That's what I know about her. And then she also completed her MPhil in mass comm. And she has been a blogger, she's been a teacher, and currently she's working as a content writer. But I think it would be better, Sheza, if you can go ahead and explain your career journey. And let's go back towards your childhood when you used to be in high school and how you started off. So go ahead and explain about it.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I am Sheza, and I've been a student of APS. And the first time I ever wrote something was in grade 3. It was a little essay that got published in my school magazine, and it made me love writing. We used to have a creative writing class in our school, and that is what taught me how to write, because from a very young age we were asked to make mind maps and write our ideas down, which was a very good brainstorming process.
Okay.
And it made me go further with writing as well. So I used to write prose, poetry, basic journaling for
Is there
myself,
anything that
just
you would
to
want
make
to share
myself
regarding
happy.
your poetry, specifically to the audience out there?
I have
Any two
a
lines?
page I have a website on
I
which I
see.
write,
Okay.
and
You can share it with me. I will put it, in the
Sure,
comments below, and people can go ahead and read what you write down. I mean, we
sure,
would
I
love
can
to go
do
ahead
that.
and share. Okay.
Definitely, I'll share it with you. So I used to write for myself initially, and then things took turn, and I had to make a choice for my career.
Okay.
In 9th and 10th, I decided that I was okay. So I was in grade 9th and 10th when we have to make decisions regarding our career, and I told my family that I don't want to be a doctor. It obviously came as a big shock. It was like I threw a bomb at them, because I was getting good grades, and getting good grades mean that automatically you are supposed to be a doctor or an engineer.
Yeah.
So I told my family that I don't want to be a doctor, and I didn't want to do pre-engineering either. So
Okay.
if I don't want to do pre-medical or pre-engineering, then what am I even going to do?
Yeah.
So I thought that I'm good at maths, and I went for a combination called general science, which has maths, stats, and economics, which seemed like a very wise decision at the time, but it turned out to be a terrible one.
I see.
Why am I saying it was a terrible one? Because I got typhoid when I was in the second year,
Okay.
and that, and also other things um, made me realize that this is not my cup of tea.
I see.
So I just completed my intermediate with average grades, and I thought that this is the end of everything. If you are someone who has been told that you are a role model for all students, then you're not used to failures. So this
Yeah.
is for children who feel like that teachers put pressure on them, that they are the role models, they have to score A+. This is for them. I mean, you are going to face failures in life. Sometimes just take them normally, and go on with it. Just don't stop. I mean, it's going to hurt you, but don't stop there. So when this happened with me, I thought that now I'm not going to make any silly decisions. If I'm going to get myself enrolled in an undergrad program, I'm going to take some assistance, some
Yeah.
help, some guidance, some counseling.
Yeah.
So my father was the one. I thought that this is the time that I let this decision be taken by him. So I
So you
brought a
chose your father
prospectus.
as a mentor regarding your
Yes,
career
I did
counseling,
this.
and you chose yourself that you
Yeah,
wanted career counseling, which is a very good example.
yeah.
Go ahead.
I think that if you're confused, you need to sit down, you need to rethink things,
You can
you
talk
need
to
to
your cousins, you can
relearn.
talk to your
Yeah,
seniors, you can
anybody
talk to your
around
father,
you,
you can talk to your teacher. Yeah.
even strangers can help.
I
I
mean,
mean,
just
you
for
just need
example,
to
you're
talk
a
to
person,
someone.
I reached out to you on LinkedIn, right? And you were,
Yeah.
you really wanted to become a part of this podcast, right? So this is how we guys can go ahead and spread positivity. So don't
True. I
hesitate.
mean, that's
These
true.
days,
Yeah,
just go ahead and knock the door yourself. That, okay, I'm here. This is
exactly.
Shiza. This is Ali. We are
Yeah,
here to help you guys out. We need help
yeah.
ourselves. So it's all an open door policy now.
Understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, understand that you have to open this door or help yourself. ठीक है?
Yeah.
अगर
Yeah.
वो door आप खुद नहीं खोलोगे, nobody is going to understand that you need help
Yeah.
until and unless you're in a very bad state and it's showing up.
Yeah.
किसी को नहीं पता चलेगा that you're struggling. So when you're struggling, stand up for yourself, understand that you need help, and then take it. So I decided that I am in a bad state. I need
Yeah.
help, and I went to my dad, gave him my prospectus, asked him to choose my subjects, and he took 3 days to decide what I have to do.
Okay.
When he came back to me, the prospectus had two subjects, two disciplines, and I was surprised. One of them was media studies. I had
I see.
never thought he would choose this for me. The
Okay.
second one was food and nutrition.
Okay.
My mind, out of guilt, thought that I didn't choose medical at that time, so it will be nice if I get back to the roots and become a nutritionist or something. So
Mm-hmm.
it's going to compensate. So I that was in my head that this is what I should do.
Yeah.
My parents made me apply in both of the disciplines. I did.
Okay.
Now came another confusing time when I was selected in both.
Okay.
Now what to do?
Yeah.
I was selected in both. Now I have to choose one again. So my fupa, he's a doctor. So I went to him. I put the situation in front of him.
So now you're going to a
And
doctor and you're gonna ask him about, your
yeah,
career journey. That's really
yeah,
interesting.
I asked him if I need to do food and nutrition, or
Yeah.
whether I need to do media studies.
So what did he
I,
say?
in the back of my head, thought that he's going to tell me to do food and nutrition.
Of course, this is what
But
I'm thinking as well. But what happened?
surprisingly, he came out in favor of media studies and
I
told
see.
me to follow my passion. He made me recall my journey of writing, although
Mm-hmm.
it was just for my own pleasure.
Okay.
But he told me that this is what I've been doing and I like to do it, so maybe I should take it further.
I
So,
see.
in this way, my family played a role in career counseling
Mm-hmm.
and I stepped up to take help. So, for everybody who's watching, please make sure that if you're stuck somewhere, ask someone to help you out. It can be a friend, it can be a family member, it can be a random stranger on LinkedIn, on YouTube, anywhere you want it
Yeah.
to. So this is how it happened. I
I
went
mean,
into
and in
media
terms
studies
of
in
stranger, we're not
2012.
asking you to go ahead on streets and ask your neighbors or people who don't have any idea. By strangers, you mean on LinkedIn, if you see a profile of a person, I mean, who has a certain set of
Yeah,
expertise, just go ahead, connect and send him a message that, okay, can you help me out? I'm looking for a career, change in my life or, anything like that. Yeah. So that's what I was talking about, basically, that, I mean, you should, just go ahead and send a message. And definitely, I'm pretty sure whenever
okay.
he or she gets
So
time, they can go ahead and, help you out in that regard as well. Yeah, go ahead and carry on.
yes, by the term stranger, I also mean someone who is in the relevant field that you
Yeah.
desire to choose.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Someone who is actually having experience or knowledge about that area.
Hmm.
So that is the random stranger you can go to and ask about things. Because there are times when people that we don't know give us better advice or suggestions than the people we know. Because the people we know might be biased towards us, they might know certain things and they might, decide accordingly. But an unknown person with a set of skills, with the same set of skills that we need, might give an unbiased
Mm.
opinion or a suggestion that is going to be more helpful in many cases.
I
So I
understand
went
that.
into
Yeah.
Teenage, I was doing media studies, and there was a various, you know, set of subjects that I studied. We studied about print media, social media, electronic media, advertising, photography, graphics designing, media marketing, media laws and ethics, then about writing columns, features, editorials, then magazine production, video editing. So, like, it was a very good combination of subjects in which you are free to explore. I mean, you have your mind choosing your path,
And you get to
designing things.
you get to explore various areas that you haven't actually been
Yeah,
through in your life, and which is
true.
interesting as well.
Yeah.
And you told me
Yeah,
that you were
very
an
special.
extrovert and it converted you sorry, you were an introvert and it converted you into an extrovert, and right now you're speaking on these
I right
podcasts
now
because
I
of that
think
particular field.
yeah, I cannot still completely call myself a complete extrovert, but yes, I have grown as a person and I can, come
I
up
mean, you're
in front
speaking
of
really
people
well.
and talk
You
to
know
them,
what you're talking about. You were here in front of the media. If you're speaking here on my podcast, I'm pretty sure you would not mind speaking on a stage in front of 500 people. You could be the next TEDx speaker. You never know. So my point being,
Yeah,
my
that
point is that
sounds
never
like
stop.
something
No,
interesting.
no, yeah, exactly. Never stop dreaming. Never stop, pursuing your goals.
True.
Just always go ahead and go for
Mhm.
some side hustle. Go for something that you really like to
Okay.
do. Yeah, go ahead.
I would like to, add something to it. There are certain things that that are realistic. I mean, at times people don't have goals, they don't know where they have to go.
Yeah.
Even in that case, just don't stop. Okay,
Hmm.
there are going to be times when you think that you don't know anything. People out there might be doing 100 things, and
Yeah.
you might just be, your major accomplishment might just be waking up and feeling no headache.
Yeah.
Okay, so even that is a big accomplishment in your case because you are living a different life and they are living a different life and you can't compare yourself to others and feel bad about it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Don't
so there
compare
might be
yourself with
times
others,
that
but compare in a good way. Like, for example, in
compare
professional
yourself
terms,
with
in ethical
yourself.
values. I mean,
Yes,
okay, how can I be more helpful, or how can I just
true.
add on more positivity? Comparing in this sense does not
Yeah,
hurt. But if you're going to
doesn't
compare
hurt.
that,
Yeah,
okay, if she's a doctor, I could have become one. I mean, this is something that I mean, every individual is different. There is a term
true.
genetic mutation. If I don't know if you've read sciences or biology, but mutation means that every person has different set of genes. I mean, obviously we all are different people, we all are different human beings, so we come from that background where Allah Ta'ala, God, has given us a potential, a certain potential that we ourselves are
True.
going to explore
And
it.
everybody has something in them. That
Yeah,
is what I like to say. Everybody has something in them. You might have something in you that I don't have. I might have something in me that you don't have.
that
So,
definitely.
we're
And we
always
all are
just going
connected,
to,
we all are connected in a way that we need
yeah,
each other. So I mean, it's not like one
yeah,
person can run the whole show. You would need employees, you would
exactly.
need people, you would need a
Yeah,
team to actually go ahead and work for a cause, if there is any cause that you're
yeah.
working on, and start think positively. What do you think about, she's a one more question, what do you think about how to build more entrepreneurs in the society? Because unfortunately we don't pursue our goals enough, and we have a fair theory in our mind that's always running, that okay, if not this then what. How to avoid that, and how
Okay.
to come up with a
Uh,
certain ideology where we have an ideal mindset where we can think about ideas and innovating something. Can you throw some
okay.
light upon that?
So for youngsters, for youth who are already on social media, I'd like to just suggest you to visit LinkedIn sometime
Okay.
and create an account on LinkedIn. Create it in a way that you're using proper keywords that support your skill set, optimize your profile properly,
Hmm.
and connect with people from the same area.
Okay.
This is how you can build your personal brand. This is how you can do personal branding. Ultimately, become an entrepreneur by looking into the lives and brands of people that are already running.
Hmm.
LinkedIn is a great platform where you can connect with people professionally, where you
Mm-hmm.
can learn the skills, where you can, talk about career, where you can talk about work, where you can talk about professional, personal life.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a place which can help you to grow as an entrepreneur. Like
Hmm.
this can be your first and big step towards entrepreneurship. That is what I believe. So if people are
But
watching,
we
I'd
don't have
like
enough
to.
courage to take those risks, how to beat those barriers, how
Yeah,
to go ahead and have that mindset. I mean, I really like the approach that you came from, that you wanted to I mean, you were not good at maths and you knew that it was not your cup of tea, and then you went to your father and he supported you.
I was initially good at math, but not later. That's why I left that
Yeah,
as
so
well.
that's fine. I mean, if
So
you would have wasted a
yeah,
couple of more years in mathematics just trying to prove yourself that no,
exactly.
I'm good at it, no, I will do it, what
Hmm.
eventually you would have landed, towards nothing at all, right? So now you chose a different
True,
field, you chose a different Shiza yourself, and now you think you're better than before in a way that you feel good about yourself. We should also know
true,
about this fact that we should learn how to feel good about ourselves, basically. This is really, really
yeah,
important. Try to self evaluate yourself, try to always find the
true,
positive things. I mean, just create your mind mapping in a way that you're thinking about something positive. Like for example, today early morning, on a weekend, if I'm having a session with you, one thing that I'm feeling positive about is that people are going to listen to it, and then the youth is going to get something out of it, right? In terms of,
true.
okay, that I can even go for a
Hmm.
media career. Can you give some tips on particularly that, okay, if someone wants to become an actor or an actress, is this degree going to help them out?
I think yes, because they are going to teach you the essentials of media studies in a way,
What are the
or
essentials? I
you
mean,
can.
what do they teach exactly? I mean, can you elaborate in steps so that if a child is listening of a college who just completed his or her A levels, and he wants to pursue his or her career in media, mass comm, what is he or she going to get out of it after 4 years of completing this bachelor's?
Okay. So, every institute has a different set of, subjects that they're offering.
Hmm.
There are institutes like NCA which offer filmmaking as a whole,
Okay.
that they teach it as a whole.
Okay.
So, if somebody wants to be an actor or actress or, something like that, maybe they can try into that. What I studied media studies as a whole. Like it was everything compressed like this. So we were taught basics of everything, right? Since I graduated in print media, like my specialization was in print media, so I can't guide children much about acting
I see.
and the other side, the electronic side. But
What can you
I am
guide about
sure.
particularly? For example, can you guide
Okay,
about the digital e-commerce business? Let's, for example, you're good in, I mean, what can you get out of this mass comm degree that you've done?
okay. I can show you something. I mean, it's for kids who have some goals or dreams.
Of
So
course.
when I was a kid, I wanted to design a magazine of my own.
All right.
I mean, every kid
Is
has
there
different
something that you
dreams.
were about to show? I mean, in terms of some book, or what was that?
Yeah, yes, I'm going to show that. That is why I'm talking about it.
Okay.
So when I was a kid, I wanted to make a magazine
Okay.
with my name,
So
publish it,
that's the
write for
innovative
it,
mindset.
design
You
it.
wanted your own
Yeah,
magazine. You wanted that I
yeah,
can do this. I can add value. Instead of just reading
yeah.
magazines, you thought about, coming up with your own magazine,
Creating
which is
one.
creating one.
Yeah,
This is the kind of mindset I
yeah.
really love talking to people about. That okay,
Okay.
this is what, yeah,
So
go ahead.
yeah. So what happened was that in my final year, we were supposed to design a magazine,
Okay.
and it was supposed to be a final project on which we were going to be evaluated. And when I made one, I kept it very close to my heart. Since then, whenever I feel low in my life, I look at it and I go through its pages,
Uh,
and that brings me
that
back
motivates
to,
you. That brings back
yeah.
your confidence.
And
It
this
happens.
is it's in my hands right now.
Is it
I
just,
made it.
I mean, is it, did you provide it to some bookstore, or can we buy it
Not
as
at
well?
all. Like it was just a
You're just
project
keeping it to
that we were
yourself.
supposed to make.
I
Yeah,
see.
it's
I
just
see.
with me right now. So, but it's
But you can
it's
create your own
something that,
brand. I mean, the glimpse is a very good word that I just, saw. A glimpse of someone's personality, or a glimpse of, whatever you could say. But why don't you think about actually pursuing this as a brand, you know?
uh, sure, like, we always have different set of things in our head. But, right now, I also believe that I'm on a way where I'm still discovering myself, right?
You're still in a learning phase, basically. That's what you're trying to say. Yeah, carry on, Shiza. You were talking about your
Okay.
learning phase. Yeah.
Yes, I'm still in that self-discovery phase where I am assessing myself every day, learning new things about myself every day. So right now I am nowhere near, thinking कि मैंने अपना brand launch करना है या अपना magazine launch करना है. I still want to be, I want to have my roots in a proper place
Hmm.
when I think that I am standing firm and I am ready to do this. So for kids out there who think that they want to do something, do experiments, take risks, करके देखें उस चीज को कि वो
And
आपके
you
लिए
have
उस चीज
that
का क्या
age.
फ्रूट
I
आ
mean,
रहा है.
जब आपकी school life होती है, you've got a lot of time to actually explore your inner
So
potential. But what we do
for
is that we just,
yeah,
sorry, I'm cutting you here, but we just, like, follow a certain pathway. And then we start, building ourselves into that race. Okay, I'm going to be the topper of the class. What sort of
yeah.
methodology, what sort of mindset is that? It's good to actually get good grades, but just feeling superior based on the fact that you are the best amongst, the 30 people out there, it does not mean that you are the
Okay,
best. Yeah.
yeah. It's not just from the student's end. It's something that a teacher instills in the mind that this person is superior or something. So when we
How
were
do we
doing
have
this,
this culture? I mean, it's not a good culture, I think, that where we
okay,
are trying to,
being a teacher, for like 1.5 years now, I can try and claim that things are changing now because
okay, that's a good thing.
in the school that I was teaching, we were told to look for each and every child in the same way. We had to assess them differently based on their abilities. We had made 3 groups of children
Okay.
on which we were assessing them.
All right.
So everybody was, looked after in a way that they needed to be looked after. Even we created plans like study plans for kids in a way कि कौन सी चीज कौन सा बच्चा किस तरह से अच्छी कर सकता है, किसकी स्पीकिंग स्किल्स अच्छी हैं उसको स्पीकिंग की चीजें देनी चाहिए, किसकी राइटिंग अच्छी है उसकी राइटिंग की देनी चाहिए, कौन हैंड्स ऑन एक्टिविटीज के साथ अच्छा कर सकता है उसको हैंड्स ऑन एक्टिविटीज से सिखाना चाहिए. So, I was just teaching kindergarten. I wasn't teaching a grade, but teaching kindergarten like this with a mindset where we
Really
have to
good. I
teach a
really
kid
appreciate such
with
institutes who are
different,
trying to, implement this
yeah,
ideology of having each individual, being a teacher, if you're actually putting, giving each child time, I think that's a very good thing. And
I
this way,
mean, that is how it should be done. I'm so sorry I'm cut in between. But with time, now that we know the things are changing, we also need to accept that every child is different. Even the parents need to stop comparing. Then there were parent teacher meetings when parents used to come to me and say कि मेरा बड़ा वाला बेटा तो इस टाइम पे इतना कर रहा था, ये अभी उधर तक क्यों नहीं पहुंचा, या ये अभी इतना कर रहा है, इसके क्लासमेट्स तो इतना 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 कर चुके हैं.
hmm.
So, every time I just use the same phrase that let them go with their pace. Every kid is different. I am glad that the parents these days are also aware that हमने चीजों को किस तरह लेके चलना है. There are
Awareness is being
parents who come to
created.
me.
That's what you're trying to say, that
Yeah,
now things are
yeah,
changing.
so
Even parents know that, okay, it's no more being a doctor or an
yeah,
engineer. I mean, this is the
Yeah.
positive side
Like,
that we are discussing, and I think, yeah, this is really good. This would lead towards something, and especially in a
hopefully.
in an economy like this in Pakistan these days, even globally, inflation is on peak. I think the more and more
Yeah.
opportunities we try to, go ahead and create, better would be the chances that we can actually, give more jobs, and it could lead
Yes,
towards
and
a good and prosperous
we
Pakistan.
are we are probably the last generation who has suffered from everything like this कि हम पे pressure था कि
कोविड
ये
आया,
ही करना है.
हमने डिप्रेशन
Yeah,
देखा. I mean, trust me, I used to
yeah,
work from home and I was like watching the walls 24/7. After a year, I was like, what am I supposed to do? I mean, because the life was
yeah.
over, right? I mean, I'm not sure how did you
I
cope up, but yeah, go ahead.
I completed my post grad during 2020 when COVID was on its
So did
peak.
you
I
have
did
fun
my
or what happened
thesis
eventually?
online. I did my thesis online. My thesis defense was online in front of a jury.
Uh-huh.
Like that was a completely different experience. And uske baad, I was wondering what am I going to do because people are being laid off. But sometimes things happen. I never wanted to be a teacher. I never thought I could be a teacher. But during COVID times, I was offered a job, like a
Hmm.
teaching job.
Hmm.
And ultimately, even though I never wanted to be a teacher, I just gave it a shot, thinking, okay, let's see what it brings for me. I
Yeah.
mean, this is a message for kids. अगर आपको लगता है कि ये चीज आपके लिए नहीं है, आपको नहीं करनी, लेकिन फिर भी वो आपके सामने आ गई है in a way that you're getting some experience out of it, take it.
Yeah.
Don't give it a second
Just
thought. Just
grab the
take it.
opportunity and go ahead and
Hmm.
just build your career. Just don't stop and never give up. This is what the
Because
ideology should.
कुछ ना कुछ तो आपको उससे मिलेगा. You're going to learn something from it. ऐसा नहीं हो सकता कि आप किसी चीज में जाओ और आपको कुछ भी ना मिले, आपको मुझे तो कुछ सीखने को नहीं मिला.
Well,
You're
Iqbal
going to
once
learn
said, I don't
something
know if you've
ultimately.
heard that, कि खुद ही को कर बुलंद इतना कि हर तकदीर
हम्म.
से पहले खुदा बंदे से खुद पूछे बता तेरी रजा क्या है.
और तेरी रजा क्या है. Yeah.
Unfortunately, आजकल, I don't know, for some reason, I mean, of course, communicating in English is a very good thing. I really appreciate the fact people who have good communication skills. I myself have, I mean, I've got a lot of colleagues in US. I've been working for American companies, Australian companies. So, I mean, it's good to actually go ahead and, talk like that. But for people out there who don't have good command in that language, for example, English, it does not mean that you're not there and you cannot express yourself. Can you give some
True.
message to them as well, जो कि उर्दू में लोग बात करते हैं और जिनको ये एक certain mindset
Okay.
उनका है कि नहीं जी, एक certain class बनी हुई है, जो कि है भी सही. I'll be very honest,
हम्म.
हर जगह नहीं है लेकिन कुछ जगहों पे है. How to break that stereotype और कैसे वो आगे आए और कैसे वो अपने आप को express करें, ये आप जरा उर्दू में बताइएगा. आई नो दैट यू गॉट अ वेरी गुड कमांड ऑन इंग्लिश, बट ताकि वो लोग जो सुन रहे हैं, वो ऑडियंस जो हमें देख रही है, बहुत सारे एरिया से लोग देखते हैं, उनके बारे में क्या मैसेज है
हम्म.
आपके लिए, आपके पास?
जो जो लोग अभी मुझे और अली को देख रहे हैं, आप उर्दू बोलते हैं, इंग्लिश बोलते हैं, पंजाबी बोलते हैं, इस चीज से बिल्कुल फर्क नहीं पड़ता तब तक जब तक आप खुद मजबूत हैं अपने इरादों को लेके कि
जी.
आपने कुछ करना है.
जी.
आपको अगर ये भी नहीं जानते कि आपने क्या करना है तो इससे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता.
जी.
फर्क सिर्फ इस बात से पड़ता है कि आपने रुकना नहीं है. आप चलते रहें, आपको कुछ ना कुछ तो मिलेगा जो आप
मतलब आप
करेंगे और
डॉक्यूमेंट्री
आपको
उर्दू में भी कर सकते हैं. आप देखें, वीव गॉट, वही
बिल्कुल.
बात है कि इतनी हम बोल बोल के कि वी हैव मेड सर्टेन लाइफस्टाइल where we are speaking like that. We're not prioritizing our own language, unfortunately. And I think it should be a mix and match for people out there. Why? Because we have created different social standards for different people within the same country,
ट्रू.
unfortunately. यार चले बाहर के मुल्कों से समझ आती है, globally there is a competition or whatever it is. Even though I believe on Michael Jackson's song जो के कहता है कि जी, heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me and for
फॉर
the
यू
entire
एंड फॉर
human
मी
race.
एंड
I
या.
love that song. And you were telling ना कि आप magazine देखती हैं. Whenever I feel low or anything like that happens, I hear that song because there is so much purity in that. वो इतने प्यार से उसने कहा है कि यार, और छोटे छोटे बच्चे होते हैं उसमें, think about the generations coming ahead. We gotta make it a better place for you and for me and for the entire human race. And I just
Yeah.
cannot stop, thinking about that song whenever there is a podcast.
It reminded me of a play that was held in my school when I was in grade 5,
Mhm.
and children performed over it. And since then, I've also not been able to forget that song.
I see. I see. And then I mean, that guy was a legend. There is no doubt. And then start reading. We don't have that habit.
True.
If you don't know, if you know, अच्छा मैं समझता हूँ कि जी कुछ लोगों को इंटरेस्ट नहीं होता रीडिंग का. Go to
अच्छा, मैं
YouTube.
यहाँ पे एक और बात कहना चाहूंगी।
जी जी.
इंग्लिश नहीं तो कोई बात नहीं,
ठीक है.
उर्दू पढ़ें आप, उर्दू
ठीक है.
अखबार पढ़ें,
जी
जो पैम्फलेट्स आते हैं वो पढ़ें,
जी.
छोटी छोटी चीजें आती हैं, ब्रोशर्स आते हैं, बाहर
अच्छा आपने
बिलबोर्ड्स
नोटिस
पढ़ें।
किया होगा शीजा, सॉरी मैं आपकी बात काट रहा हूँ. आई स्टिल रिमेम्बर व्हेन माय फादर, बिकॉज़ ही वाज अ जर्नलिस्ट, ही यूज्ड टू वर्क इन एफबीआर, और बीइंग अ जर्नलिस्ट वो बात करते थे तो उर्दू में भी बड़े अच्छी शायरी करते थे. अभी भी
हम्म,
माशाल्लाह अगर आप उनसे बात करें तो वो ही वुड गिव दोस फ्रेजेस, जिस तरह इकबाल ने ये कहा, जिस तरह अल्लामा इकबाल के, मैंने एक छोटा सा शेर आपको अभी सुनाया था, इस तरह के
जी।
बहुत सारे शेर हैं. तू शाही है बसेरा कर पहाड़ों की चट्टानों पर. तो इकबाल
हम्म,
नेवर स्पोक इन इंग्लिश, ही मेड हिज ओन
या
वैल्यू. तो देर इज पोएट्री, देर आर लॉट ऑफ गुड
बिल्कुल।
राइटर्स जो हमारे पास थे. अहमद
या
नदीम, आई डोंट रिमेम्बर हिज नेम एग्जैक्टली, जाविया एक प्रोग्राम आता था, आई डोंट नो इफ यू हैव सीन, वो एक होते.
या
तो डोंट यू थिंक वी आर बिजी इन अ रेस जहां पे बस हम सिर्फ कॉपीइंग में लगे हुए हैं जी. We've got good Pakistani
या
people, we've got good legends. म्यूजिक हमारा इतना अच्छा है, पॉप इंडस्ट्री इतनी अच्छी है, आप गा सकते हैं, आप लिरिक्स लिख सकते हैं. जिस तरह वो स्ट्रिंग्स के जो बैंड में जिनके फादर हैं वो जो बड़े अच्छे राइटर हैं, आई एम नॉट श्योर,
अनवर
फैसल,
मकसूद।
अनवर मकसूद,
अनवर
बिलाल
मकसूद।
मकसूद के जो फादर हैं, एग्जैक्टली, ही राइट्स रियली गुड. हमारे मोइन अख्तर हो गया, बहुत सारे ऐसे लेजेंड्स हमने क्रिएट किए हैं. अब क्यों नहीं ऐसा कुछ हो रहा? Why don't we have that Moin Akhtar again, and why can't we create those people again? I don't know. Where are we heading towards?
उसका उसका सिर्फ सीरियसली यही रीजन है दैट द वंस हु आर स्पीकिंग इंग्लिश,
Yeah,
उनकी इंग्लिश बोलने की वजह से, अब ऑब्वियसली हम उनको ब्लेम नहीं कर सकते, बिकॉज इंग्लिश इज आल्सो लाइक अ नेसेसरी स्किल दैट वी नीड राइट नाउ, लाइक
yeah,
वी हैव टू एडमिट इट,
yeah.
क्योंकि उसके बगैर हमारा काम नहीं चलेगा।
I understand
तो
that.
लेकिन
Yeah.
अगर अगर सब ही उस चीज को लेके अगर इंफीरियर फील करेंगे, और आप इफ यू गोइंग टू स्टॉप टॉकिंग इन योर ओन लैंग्वेज इन राइटिंग इन इट, तो इस तरह की चीजें होंगी। पीपल आर स्टिल राइटिंग इन उर्दू, लिख रहे हैं,
But उनकी
लेकिन
उनके काम
वही
को उस
बात
तरह
कि
से नहीं
उनकी
अब वो वैल्यू
अ,
किया जा रहा.
क्या उनको वैल्यू नहीं किया जा रहा, बिकॉज प्रॉब्लम यहाँ है।
Hmm.
प्रॉब्लम अब यहाँ आ गई है, हम बाहर की चीजें देखना ज्यादा प्रेफर करते हैं, हम सीजन्स देखना प्रेफर करते हैं, राइट?
Because we want
हम
to
नेटफ्लिक्स
look cool
देखेंगे,
ना, सोशल मीडिया आ गया
या
है, हमें
इट्स
ब्लॉगिंग
लाइक
का
अ
शौक
स्टेटस
है.
को,
अच्छा
राइट?
ब्लॉगिंग में भी
हाँ।
क्रिएटिविटी इज देयर, बट मेजॉरिटी, आई विल बी वेरी ऑनेस्ट, फोकस क्या करती हैं कि जी हाउ वी लुकिंग लाइक, ब्यूटी कॉन्शियस. आई मीन कम विद ब्लॉग्स जहां पे कुछ आप.
अच्छा, उससे भी लाइक व्हाट आई विल इन हियर इज कि उससे ये हो रहा है कि पीपल आर फीलिंग रियली बैड अबाउट देमसेल्व्स, मेंटली,
Hmm,
physically, they're
hmm,
feeling inferior, they're feeling upset about what they look, about what they don't have.
I
तो
see.
by the end of the day, आपकी जो एक वॉर है ना, वो किसी और के साथ नहीं रहती, वो आपकी होती अपने साथ ही है। In
Hmm,
any case,
hmm.
it's how you're going to win from your own self, right? So a
मतलब
person
ब्लॉग्स
like
बनाएं
me,
बट
हमें
क्रिएटिविटी भी लेके आए उसमें. फॉर एग्जांपल ट्रैवल टू अ
क्रिएटिविटी लाए,
प्लेस, उस पर
बिल्कुल।
बताएं, उसकी हिस्ट्री बताएं बच्चों को कि जी दिस इज, इंस्टेड ऑफ जस्ट पोस्टिंग अ सेल्फी ऑन डेली बेसिस या मेकअप टिप्स. मैंने 90% ऑफ द टाइम्स जितनी भी वो जो ब्लॉगर्स हैं या जो बॉयज एंड गर्ल्स जितने भी हैं, या वो अपनी जिम वर्कआउट दिखा रहे हैं, या फिर वो लड़कियां जो हैं वो ये दिखा रही हैं कि आज मैंने ये ब्रांड पहना है, आज मैंने. आई अंडरस्टैंड द
हम्म,
फैक्ट कि ठीक है ब्लॉगिंग का ये एक एस्पेक्ट है, बट नास डेली, आई डोंट नो इफ यू फॉलो हिम, अब उसके ब्लॉग्स भी हैं, वो इतनी
आई
जगह
थिंक।
घूमता है, वो बड़ी जगहों पे बताता है कि जी ये क्रिएटिविटी है, दुबई में ये होता है, पाकिस्तान में ये होता है, इंडिया में ये होता है. तो शीजा, वी हैव लास्ट 2 minutes. This is your podcast. In the last 2 minutes, go ahead, explain those strategies. If you are a prime minister of Pakistan for, like, let's for example 1 week, what would you do for the country जिसके basis पे they remember you forever कि यार Shiza was the one who was the best politician in our lives. Go ahead. I know it's a
I
tricky
don't think
question.
I don't think I have to be a politician or a
No,
prime
but
minister
forget
for
about any
that.
person. Just think about
Okay.
yourself कि जी मैं ये अगर कर सकती हूँ तो
Yeah.
मैं कैसे कर सकती हूँ for bringing positivity, building entrepreneurs and eliminating lack of career counseling in Pakistan. What would be your strategies in the last 2 minutes, please?
Okay. So I think that what I'm going to, make sure that first of all, everybody needs to have a good physical and mental health.
Okay.
Even, I'm very serious about it. Even if I turn into something like a politician or something, I'll make sure that, strict policies are made to examine people
Mhm.
and their mental health about how they're feeling, and especially for parents, new parents, I'm going to make centers for them to teach them how they're going to treat their kids, how
Hmm.
they're going to counsel them. At times पेरेंट्स को भी बच्चों की सिचुएशन, उनकी डिप्रेशन, उनकी एंजाइटी, उनकी करियर की चीजें समझ नहीं आती. So I'm going to make things for parents
Mhm.
so that they are counseled first about how they have to deal with their kids and how they have to deal with their children's things. Okay?
Gotcha. जी.
For kids, what I'm going to do is, for kids, I'm going to make them understand the value of their selves and how they don't need to stop. आपके सामने जो चीज आ रही है, accept it, take it, and if you still feel like it's not for you, take another risk. I am going to, give them lessons on self-awareness, on
Hmm.
mental health, uski importance, physical health, uski importance, time management, uski importance, the reality of failures, उसकी importance life में क्या हो सकती है. Like I am going to add subjects like these in their books.
Amazing,
हम
amazing.
पाइथागोरस
Trust
थ्योरम
me,
पढ़ते हैं,
I'm really impressed.
हमें
आपने
सिंपल
जो
यूज
जो
कर रहे
बातें
हैं
की
उसको.
हैं ना, अगर ये हम implement करने लग जाए individual level पे भी, I would love to have another podcast session with you as well, जिसमें हम self awareness और mental health पे बात करेंगे, and I'm pretty sure you might have
Yeah,
a lot of
sure.
content in regards to that. Shiza, thank you so much for being a part of the podcast. Yes, I will share your LinkedIn link to people who might want to ask questions. Guys, you can subscribe us on Youth Alumni Association YouTube channel and go to our Facebook page as well. Thank
Thank
you,
you so
Shiza,
much for
again.
having me, Ali. Thank you for having me. For kids who are doing something और आपको लग रहा है आपको ब्रेक चाहिए, प्लीज टेक इट. पेरेंट्स हु आर वाचिंग, उनको ब्रेक लेने दें, उनको सोचने दें. लेट देम ब्रेनस्टॉर्म, because
Amazing.
wasting a life is worse than wasting a year. So
Thank you
that's
so
it.
much. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Take care of yourself. Allah
Thank you.
Hafiz. Bye bye.
Allah Hafiz.